Looking back to when I first started to learn the harp, I realize now that I had some unrealistic expectations about my harp learning. I'd like to share with you the 3 biggest mistakes I made as a new harp learner. Hi, I'm Kathy Lowe, the Prime Time Harpist. Welcome to all adult harp learners, especially those who are age 60 and over. This is the place for you to come for help and information and support in your harp learning journey. I thought today would be a good day to talk about some of the things that I think slowed me down in the beginning and kept me from progressing as quickly and effectively as I could have on learning the harp. Now, I might be coming from a different starting point than you are. So I'll tell you a little bit about that. I had been a music major in college, a music education major, and taught music for several years and played a few different instruments, starting with piano and then going on to woodwinds in high school and in college. Saxophone was my major instrument. When I taught music, I picked up the guitar for a little while to use in my music classes. So I felt like I had a solid music background. I studied music theory. I could read music well. So when I got my harp, I thought, all I'm going to need is someone to give me a few lessons to get me started, and then I can work on my own. I'll buy some books, and I'll see what I can accomplish by myself. Now, this was before COVID. It was 2017, 2018, before there were as many online resources as there are now. I headed off on my own and started to learn. And of course, in the books I had, the beginning pieces were both trying to teach you to play tunes on the harp and talked a little bit about hand position and also about note reading. And I found the pieces very simple. So I figured I don't need to spend a lot of time on these because they're so easy to play. But the fact was, I was zipping through learning tunes, but I wasn't really learning good harp technique, good hand position, good seating position. I didn't realize I needed to go back to square one and focus on those things that were important. And as I progressed, it became more and more clear to me that these were important steps that I had left out. So that was my first unrealistic expectation for learning the harp. I assumed I could pick it up quickly on my own. The next problem that I now see in retrospect was that because I thought I was proficient enough in music to play more difficult pieces, I tried to learn them before I was ready for them. And this really didn't help with my confidence in my playing, because even though I could read that music, and the voice inside my head said, you should be able to play this piece, I was struggling to play them as well as I thought I should be playing them. So I, again, zipping through the easy pieces, getting on to music that was more challenging, but also frustrating me because I was never happy with the results. I recorded a lot of pieces, and every time I recorded a piece, it took me several tries to get it to a point where I figured it was as good as it was going to be and good enough to put up on my channel. But still, there was a voice inside my head telling me, you should be able to do better at this. And then finally, I was starting to watch and interact with other people who were starting out at about the same time I was. And I was comparing myself to them. Am I learning more quickly than they are? Are they ahead of me? Shouldn't I be able to keep up? Shouldn't I be able to progress really quickly, so that comparing myself to others again was affecting my confidence as a player. And when I started playing in front of people live, I got really nervous. I had a lot of performance anxiety. Again, the voice said, you should be able to play this no problem. But when I got in front of people, my hands would shake and I would make mistakes. And I was so upset with myself that I was starting to wonder if I should just not try to play in front of people, which was a real shame because I had been playing at my church and everyone there really seemed to enjoy it, regardless of how poorly I thought I was performing. And I felt like my harp music was something I could give to people as a gift from me. And I wanted them to have the same emotional response to the music that I felt when I was alone practicing here in my little harp room. And I never felt like I achieved that in front of people. So a topic for another video will be performance anxiety, what to do to work on overcoming that, because I feel like now I can play for others and I can be happy with the results. So I hope that you will find my struggles helpful to you and maybe help you avoid some of them. Now, I know that some of you didn't start or aren't starting in the same place that I did. And some of you, I know, were very accomplished musicians, possibly even on the professional level, working musicians who played other instruments. So I think we represent the whole spectrum of people who start out maybe never having played a musical instrument, not knowing how to read music. So there's a whole lot of other issues involved in getting past those hurdles that I already had cleared. So I know that some of the things that I've said today maybe aren't relatable to you right now, but maybe they will be. But in the meantime, I'd like to know from you, so what were the mistakes that you made when you first started out that you now wish you knew not to make? And if you are thinking about starting and a little nervous about it, I would say take your time, find out what resources are available. If you can find a teacher who can start you off correctly, private lessons are definitely a good option. But I know that private teachers aren't always available in everyone's area. So then you need to rely on some of the resources that we'll talk about in future videos that are also a very good place to begin, even if you're starting from zero. So I hope this has been helpful to you. And now I'd like to shift gears a little bit here because I've decided that I'm going to try and share with you so you can see where I came from. So this being Valentine's week, thought it would be appropriate to share a love song. So I've chosen Elvis's very famous Can't Help Falling in Love with You. And I have two arrangements for it. The first one is a beginner arrangement. And then I have one I recorded some time ago of an advanced intermediate arrangement of the same piece. Both arrangements are done by Christy-Lyn, Dosé. And they were arrangements that I learned through participating in her Learning the Harp Together group. So right now I'm going to insert the beginner arrangement. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed hearing that. At the end, I'll put in my more advanced arrangement of the same piece. So please, in the comments below, let me know if you have been studying harp for a while and playing harp for a while. What mistakes did you make in the beginning that you'd like to tell others about so they can avoid those mistakes? And if you're just starting out, what questions do you have about first steps in learning the harp? Because we can go into that in a lot more detail in future videos. So in the meantime, don't forget, you're never too old to learn to play the harp. You're in the prime of life. This is the best time, and you have the best life skills that you're going to be able to translate into learning this new skill that will bring you and others so much joy. So, love to you all this Valentine's week. Take care and see you again soon.